Okay, so for my next step, I don't like the insides of these not being painted, and I don't like the back not being covered. So I just do a really quick coating for the back, which helps to coat the inner parts. But then for the inner lines in here, I take like a paintbrush or these Q-tips. I have a million of these, and I run that up in there to put the dye on that side. So I'm also going to put the dye on the wings, the stain. I keep calling it dye. I mean, I guess it's a dye ink. So I'm just going to put some of that on the wings. I'm going to do both sides, because on one of them you'll probably see the back side of the wing on one side. And you know, just like Distress ink, it does dry really quick, and you can coat this and layer it. Sorry, my squeaky chair is squeaking. Normally when I video I use my little stool, so it's not so bad, but I have my fan on it. It's been so hot here. I don't even think I'm even on the frame anymore. I'm sorry. Okay, so let me just do a quick cut on that real quick. Make this side a little smoother. And then after that dries, we're going to use the finger ribbons on it. But while it dries, we're going to use the finger ribbons on this, on the stand part, because I want it a brown and not black. So you can use any kind of paint you want. I'm going to use the finger ribbons, and I'm going to use this Nubian color here. It's a brown, and it's got like a metallic sheen to it. So all I do is put it on my finger and just rub it on there. And I've had several people ask me where to get these. I got these from my friend Cindy, and they're made by a company called Craft Tea. It's CRAF-T. You can look on their website, and I think Jennings said that she got hers at Simon Says Stamp, so you can check out their website too. So that added a nice brown, and I want to put a little, like, you know, gold and other tones on it. So let me flip this over. I want to use, we'll do gunmetal and silver. So I'm just going to put a little gunmetal on here, not a whole lot, just a little. I wipe it off my finger. I'm going to use a little silver, just as an accent, and this just helps it to look more like a metal stand. So if you can see that. Okay, so that's done. Let me get a wipe to clean this off my finger real quick. Okay, looks like our wings are, for the most part, dry. I'm just going to blot the backs real quick. But again, on these, I'm going to use the ribbons, so that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use some of the brown. You really can't see this embossed too well. I probably should have used a couple other shims, but I'm going to use some of the pewter. Oh, let's use pewter, and then we'll use some silver to try to bring out that. Yeah, that's better. So you can see those embossed gears on there a little better. You know, just play with it. Just remember to add little bits at a time, because it's easier to add more, but it's hard to take it off. Okay. So I got that done. And I'm going to go in with some of the silver. It's a little brighter of a silver. And just barely touch it to bring out those gears a little better. Same thing on this. Barely touching it. So now you can see the gears on that a lot better. And I'm going to add a little bit of the silver on the bird cage, just a tiny bit, just for a little bit of a metallic finish. Sorry, I got to pull it up toward me. My old eyes, I can't see too well. Okay. So it also toned down that brown just a little bit. Okay, so we have our pieces. And I did not even turn on my glue gun. So let me do that. Clean my fingers off. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to assemble this just to show you, and then I'm going to work on the canvas that I'm going to put it on, and then I'll be back after that. So I'm just going to show you how I'm going to assemble it. I'm going to put the bird cage on top of the dress form, and then I will attach the wings on the back like this and like this. And on this one I'm going to use this canvas, and so it will all be assembled on here, just as a rough example. But I still need to I still have to do the back of my canvas. I haven't really decided yet what I'm going to do on that. So, but anyway, that's just a, you know, a rough tutorial of how I do the bird cages. And you can, you know, tie chain around there, or ribbon, or tulle, or whatever you want, you know, after you glue these down. So I'll be back in a few minutes to finish up. Okay, so I did my canvas, and I took this, I guess a little old school. I used my Tim Holtz masks, which I haven't used in forever, and I laid them down. I used 2 sets, and I glimmer misted over it. I used several different browns of glimmer mist, and I used moonlight or moon shadow to add a little bit of blue. For kind of like a silvery tone. I finished putting together my dress form. I added the piece of ribbon here. I don't know why I can't remember what it's called. I added a little chain and a philosophy tag that says Destiny, and I added a little piece of lace down here. Put the wings on, so my dress form is ready. I just have to attach it to the canvas. I also picked some gears and some spinners and things that I want to put on the side, and have them kind of laid out in the order that I want them. And for the chipboard pieces, I stain them using the weathered wood distress stain, and I used the finger rubbings to give them a metallic finish. But after I used the distress stain on it, I used my texture hammer, which is something else I haven't used in forever, and I put the indentations into the chipboard. When the chipboard's wet, it makes it a lot easier to do it versus dry chipboard. So I used the slatted side, and I used the nail head side to add indentions into that, and then I rubbed over it with the finger rubbing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my dress form to the canvas, and I'm going to put the gears and the other little pieces on the canvas, and then we'll go from there and see what other little touches it might need. So let me get these added. The first thing I do is I lay down the stand from the dress form, and I use hot glue because it makes it faster and it dries quick. And I just threw my hot glue gun on the floor. So I'm just going to lay that down onto the canvas and secure the stand part of the dress form down. I'll get those little webs in a minute. Here goes the squeaky chair again, sorry. And then I'm going to attach the body part, just with, again, with some hot glue, quick and easy. Turn it so I can try to make sure it's straight. Okay. Curl goes up a little bit. Okay, so the dress form is still dangly, and I want it so that it comes just above the top part of the bottom part of the stand, and so that it curves just a little bit to give it some dimension. So what I'm going to do is just run a little bit of hot glue along the very bottom part of the dress form, and I'm going to curve it and sit it down and just kind of slide it up a little bit. That's where that lace really is going to help to cover the glue from where you kind of slide it a little bit. Okay. I have hot glue strings everywhere. They make me crazy. I'm going to wand over them with my heat tool because it'll make them disappear. Just a couple at the top. Let me just wand those away. Okay, so now my dress form is on my canvas, and this this token, I don't really want it swinging, so I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue to it and sit it on the bird cage where I want it to be. So it's not, you know, swinging all over the place, and it's attached a little better. Okay, so now we're going to add the other gears and different parts, and what I'm going to do is just kind of lay them down where I think I want them, and I'm just going to look at them and see
how they'll look. Let's just get a peek at this. Look at this one here. And this one here.
So I think that's how I am going to want it to look. So I'm going to lay these down, and I'll be back in a couple minutes.